classical instruments. I'm your host, Arvind Kansal. In the studio here today, we have Prasad Bhandarkar. He is an accomplished flute player in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's going to talk today about Bansuri, the Indian bamboo flute. Accompanying him on Tabla is Sudarshan Siddhaye. Prasad was born in Mumbai and he got his initial training in flute from Sri Anantarao Patwardhan. Later he became a disciple of Pandit Prasad Chaurasia, the world-renowned flute maestro. Living in the Bay Area, Prasad has given several solo concerts. Sudarshan has been a disciple of Ustad Zakir Hussain for the last 7 years. He also plays in a band based in Berkeley, which is an Irish-Indian fusion band called Confusion. Welcome. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Prasad, can you introduce us to your Bansuri?
Well, Bansuri, as you can see, is a simple-looking instrument. In fact, it's deceptively simple-looking. I hope over the next 2 episodes we'll understand why I'm saying that it's deceptively simple. But Bansuri in Hindi comprises of 2 words, bas as in bamboo and suri as in perfectly tuned. So Bansuri is the bamboo flute that people play in North India. It has a long history in Indian culture. In fact, the history of Bansuri goes probably 2000 years or more. It has traditionally been associated with folk music in India, with music that herdsmen play. It has also been associated with Lord Krishna. It was his favorite instrument, and it is said in mythology that he used to make such beautiful sounds out of the Bansuri that it used to attract a lot of beautiful women. I personally don't have that experience, but it's associated with Lord Krishna. Now, Lord Krishna in Indian mythology also was known to be Mahayogi. He was a great practitioner of yoga, and as you can notice when you play Bansuri, not only you get the benefits of the music that emanates out of it, but also because of the way you're breathing into it, it's a form of yoga. In fact, I used to learn yoga and there's a way of pranayam called Ujjayi pranayam.
Really?
And it's very similar to the way you would blow into Bansuri. So the Bansuri has probably all the meditative aspects, both because of the pranayam aspect of it or yoga aspect of it, as well as the music. So that way it's a very, very attractive instrument to have in today's stressful life.
Very interesting. So how did you come to be introduced to Bansuri?
Well, this is probably this goes back about 17 years or so. When I was in my engineering college, I wanted to start learning an instrument. I used to learn a bit of vocal music and harmonium when I was a kid, but wanted to start learning instrumental music. And I happened to attend a program where the big maestros of Indian classical music happened to play, and happened to see Pandit Prasad Chaurasia play Bansuri, and most importantly, one of his lead disciples, Rupak Kulkarni, about my age, must be 16 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing it so easily, and both of them made it look so easy that I thought, well, this is a very simple instrument maybe, and also it creates beautiful music, so maybe I should choose to play that. As it turned out, 17, 18 years hence, that doesn't seem to be that easy, still learning.
Now, you mentioned Pandit Prasad Chaurasia, who's your guru, and he's such a well-renowned and such a famous international personality. How is it that you became his student?
Well, it sounds pretty simple. I started learning Bansuri, and I was learning it for a couple of years. And then I decided I like his music, I like his style, so why not learn directly from him? And as this is again 17, 18 years ago, so I was probably much younger, and when you are young, you do some stupid things, and this was one of them. I just went to his place and said I wanted to learn from him. He said, fine, I don't teach newcomers. I don't. If you are a beginner, I won't teach you. But why don't you play something? And I still remember I played a bhajan in Ahir Bhairav. Now, as luck would have it, in those days he was about to start classes, and his chosen classroom had some electrical problems, and I happened to be studying electrical engineering those days. So coincidence, I made it, I guess.
Now, Pandit Chaurasia is well known for the beauty and the aesthetics of playing Bansuri. What did you learn, how to bring out the beauty from him?
Well, of course, he taught me the Bansuri and techniques, but most importantly, he also taught me the approach to Hindustani music. Hindustani music is very structured in a way. You have the raga and styles and rules for the ragas. But in this whole process, it is very important not to lose the creative aspect of the Hindustani music. So he always encouraged me and all his students to experiment with their own things, as long as you are within that structure. But then when you are experimenting, don't worry that you might go outside the structure. He always used to say that there's a guru who will take care of, making sure that you don't go out of the structure of the rag, but you should try to improvise as much as you can. And that is probably the greatest aspect of his music, and that's probably the most important thing I learned from him.
I see. Now, earlier you mentioned that Bansuri as an instrument goes back a long time, but in the Indian classical music, it is only a latecomer. So, can you give us some idea about who gets the credit for introducing Bansuri?
Right, as I said, Bansuri as an instrument is probably 2000 years old or more, but its history in Hindustani classical music is fairly recent, in fact as recent as maybe 50 years or 60 years ago. It's widely credited to Pandit Pannalal Ghosh to bring Bansuri into mainstream Hindustani concert music. He was a student of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan's father, Baba Alauddin Khan, and Baba Alauddin Khan, of course, is known for producing students who are very leading personalities in their respective areas. You have Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, you have Pandit Ravi Shankar, and a lot many. So Pannalal Ghosh, his student, brought the flute to mainstream Hindustani music. And as you might notice, since Bansuri is so recent, unlike in vocal or even sitar or sarod music, Bansuri doesn't have its own established gharanas or presentation styles. So it's still evolving, and therefore there's a lot of scope for new improvisations in Bansuri, bringing in new techniques. You probably would notice that way Pannalal Ghosh ji used to play is quite different from the way Hariji presents his music. And that's where the stylistic aspect comes from. Hariji's guru also happens to be Baba Alauddin Khan's daughter, but if you associate the concept of gharana to presentation styles, Pannalal Ghoshi's presentation style is very different from Hariji's presentation style.
Could you give us some example of how that's different?
Sure. Pannalal Ghoshi preferred presenting it in the Khyal manner, whereas Hariji presents in Drupad manner, and we'll see some examples. But there are some basic differences even in the way they grip their flutes. People playing in Pannalal Ghoshi's style usually close the holes of the flute with their fingertips, so their grip will be somewhat like this, and since I don't play that way, it's kind of difficult for me to show, but they would probably close their fingers like this, whereas now this grip has its own advantages, but Hariji's grip, on the other hand, is not necessary to close it with fingertips, but you close it more like this. And this grip also has its advantages, particularly in terms of presenting gamak from Basuri. Gamak is the sliding and gliding and shaking of notes that is associated like as opposed to. So that sliding and gliding aspect probably comes much better with this grip, though opinions of course differ and styles differ, and that's good for the diversity of music.
Right. Yeah. So would you be kind enough to give us some examples of the Khayal and the Dhrupad style?
Sure. First I'll play something in Khyal style. Khyal is a fairly recent phenomena in Hindustani classical music, and in Indian terms, recent probably means last 600 to 800 years, because as I said, the Dhrupad music, which was the original form of Hindustani classical music, which was practiced in temples, that also goes to the days of Vedas. Khyal, on the other hand, is a different form of presenting the same rags, and usually the performance starts with brief alaps and then immediately starts with a bandish or composition in usually vilambit or very slow tempos like vilambit ektal. And maybe I'll show an example of a composition in vilambit ektal in maybe Rag Yaman.
That would be great.
So. And what presenters in Khyal style would do is they would probably start with one note in the raga at a time and present it, explore it, and then that way improvise on the raga, go at one note higher and present the whole raga. So
it's a piece by piece unfolding.
Yes, the best way to explain that is it's almost like you start with a bud of flower and then it keeps exploring and presents its whole beauty. That's exactly how it is. And then maybe after they present the whole raga in vilambit ektal or vilambit tintal or slow tempo, they would probably shift to faster tempo and play that way. So that's the Khyal style which most vocalists in modern days practice, and Pandit Pannalal Ghosh used to practice on flute. Now, Dhrupad style is slightly different. In Dhrupad style, you would probably expand the same rag, again same type of presentation, but without the percussion. You would probably present alaps or improvisations. Then you would probably switch to something called Jod alap, which is improvisation with some rhythm in it, and then finally you would switch to percussion. So I'll probably give the same example of Rag Yaman in Dhrupad style. was a brief presentation of alaps or free
Beautiful.
improvisation. Usually you would probably improvise in a much elaborate way. You would take longer to present the rag. In fact, my Guruji says that it's almost like you are taking out the juice out of every note before you move on to the next note. So you present it in various possible ways. But because of the time limitation, that was a brief explanation of alaps. Or
Because when you do a concert, these are much longer durations that we're talking
That's
about.
right. I mean, typically, in a concert, rag would probably go for an hour or even more. In fact, there's no set time limit. An artist should improvise as long as he feels he is not repetitive or he has creative genius to further improvise it. But in an hour-long concert, typically in terms of balance, you would probably talk of 20 minutes of alap. After alap, you would present what is known as jod alap or alaps with rhythm but without the percussion. So here's an example of a brief jod alaps. Various lines. Usually you would probably start much slower and then you would probably have another avartan or one cycle of little faster jod alaps. Sometimes people also play jhala, which is much faster form of presenting jods. But after you do this, you start with the percussion instrument. Usually in Dhrupad, traditionally people used to use pakhavat, which is a much bigger percussion instrument. In modern days, people use tabla much more. And my guru's favorite way of presenting the percussion is usually in smaller tals. There's no set rule about it, but Hariji prefers smaller tals like Rupak tal of 7 beats or Matta tal of 9 beats or Jap tal of 10 beats or even Madhyalay Teen tal of 16 beats. So what I'm going to present today is a form of Pandish in set to Matta tal, which is 9 beats.
9 beats.
Maybe we can count those 9 beats.
Sure.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's Matta tal.
techniques of the flute are, and what does the artist do to bring out the emotions during his performance. We hope you'll join us then also. Until then,